Hello, hello, hello. Oh my God. Okay, so we're back again. Welcome back. This is the Rampage. Woo!
Hey.
As always, I'm your host, Miad. We have Stacy.
Hey.
Hello, hello. And we have Andy on the board. Say what's up, Andy.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Hello, hello. Okay. So last week when I started, I wanted to do, what's it called? Visual descriptions for people who are visually impaired. And it's crazy because I'm doing it the week that we don't have a camera. It's always, I don't know why it's like this with me. But anyways, I'm going to do the visual descriptions anyway. So my name is Miad. I'm wearing a blue hijab. I'm wearing a yellow You Matter hoodie. And I'm wearing blue pants. And I wear glasses. And I'm also wearing a mask because we don't have a camera. We also have stuffed animals. I wanted to bring this up last week again, but I was just like, I got into it. So we have a pink llama on a table, and we have a Squirtle on a table. So that's really fun and fresh. As always, this is WBCR, so please, if you want to find us, if you want to listen live, obviously, you know where you are, WBCR.net. If you want to follow us on Instagram to keep up with all the other shows that we got going on, it's WBCR_CUNY. And, of course, the full episode on YouTube after. If you're not listening live, you can catch us on YouTube at WBCR_CUNY. And, yeah. Okay. So, also for the show, we want to do a segment called 1-800-SEND-HELP, where you can ask us for advice. We're not professionals, but, you know, we gon' help you, I think. You can email us at therampagewbcr@gmail.com and DM us at the Rampage WBCR on Instagram. So without further ado, we have a guest today. Woo!
Hey.
We have today TS.
Hi guys, my name is TS.
Okay, and would you like to introduce yourself? Who are you? Essentially, who are you?
My name is TS. I'm multi-hyphenated, okay, let me stop. But no, my name is TS. I am queer. That's what I am. And also, I am the program director at WBCR, and I'm a student, and I do anything and everything creative that I like. So you can catch me doing a bunch of different stuff.
Nice, very nice. Also, last week when I started the show, my sister, she got me a box of chocolates to congratulate.
Oh, hey.
And because I'm also very Sudanese, I have to, if you are a guest in my house, I have to offer you a treat. So this is a
we got
treat.
some chocolate.
Yeah, we got some Ferrero Rocher chocolates. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can get this open.
She gave you the good kind, too.
Right,
the good kind.
right. Can I? Oh, my God. Okay, it's open. Y'all just gonna hear me struggle with the damn packaging. ASMR, y'all. ASMR. Okay.
ASMR really does work. That stuff helps me sleep. These
Does
are the
anybody
bougie
else want a
chocolates.
chocolate?
I would.
The bougie ones,
Yeah,
man.
take a chocolate. Take a chocolate. You're welcome. Okay. So, the topic of today is...
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
We're talking about polyamorous relationships. Now, the reason why we selected TS for this interview is because TS, I remember we had a conversation, I think it was like last semester, where you mentioned that you are in a polyamorous relationship, and I had a lot of questions about it.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask, because like we consider ourselves poly, but then there'll be like people who are like hardcore in the poly community who are like, no, you guys are open, but everybody's definition is different. So for us, we call ourselves poly.
Okay, very cool. So the definition that I found online from Oxford Languages, this is literally the first one that you Google. What is a polyamorous relationship? And it says it is the practice of engaging in multiple romantic and typically sexual relationships with the consent of all the people involved. Do you feel like this is like an accurate definition? What do you think?
I consider that an accurate definition. The typically sexual, it just depends on the individual and what you're looking for. I think a lot of the times, this might just be a generalization, but from what I see, typically just it being sexual tends to come from like men.
Thank you for the honesty. Right. Okay.
But I think it's a fairly comprehensive definition.
Okay. Thank you. So this is just some of the questions that we have for you. How did you get into being polyamorous?
It just kind of happened. Like,
that sounds like a man answer. It just, when you ask them, how did you cheat on me? It just happened. I don't know how to explain it.
It's just one of those situations where I was married at one point in my life, and it was a monogamous relationship. It did not end well. And after that relationship, there was a lot of soul searching I had to do, because like prior to that, I had only been in monogamous relationships. And even prior to like my ex-wife, I was a dog. Like I was howling at the moon. So I always joke and say like my ex-wife is my karma, because
Okay.
I definitely didn't. I wasn't a good person. But I realized that like, you know, I'm trying this over and over again. All of my monogamous relationships, none of us are friends. None of us talk to each other. None of us are cool with each other. And I've always found that like the relationships that I had the most fun in, and I felt like the most healthiest, were the ones that were the most casual. So I was just trying to find a route where I can kind of have that, but still have like romantic attachment, because everybody wants to be loved. So when I met my current partner, for her, like when we started dating, it was more of just looking into like, we were just trying to have fun.
Okay.
And
cool.
we realized that we clicked. So we kind of just stayed with each other. We also realized we wanted to like still mess around and do our own thing. So that's how it came about. And even, I guess, timeline-wise, prior to her, I was with somebody who did not do monogamous relationships, did not want to do monogamous relationships, because she had just came out. And she wanted time to explore herself. So it was one of those, if I wanted to be with her, I kind of had to try it out. And I tried it out. I was like, okay, this works. So that's kind of how I ended up.
Very cool. And about how long would you say you've been poly for? Excuse me.
I'd say since like probably like 2018, 2019.
That's like 5 years, no?
Yeah.
That's a long time,
Yeah.
man. Whoa, okay. I mean, you already addressed this, but you are currently in a relationship.
Yeah, we actually celebrate 4 years November 12th.
Wow.
Congrats.
So yeah, I got to come up with a nice little surprise for her. I'm gonna find something nice to do for her. I got you, baby.
Congratulations. I like that. I like long-lasting relationships. Okay, and how did you meet your current partner?
Tinder, but like we matched on Tinder, but I was stationed in Hawaii at the time, and it's a really small island. Like everybody kind of knows everybody. So she was working at a mall. She was working at a Starbucks in Kahala Mall in Hawaii, and I was dating someone at the time who worked at the movie theater there. And a lot of the time, the person I was dating, they were a projectionist. So I would go to like Starbucks, grab us some coffee, and then go chill in the projection room with them and watch movies. And like Jenna had been trying to hit on the person that I was with, and had been trying to hit on me, but neither one of us were paying attention. So like, I guess you could say the universe aligned us, because we had been crossing paths a lot. Because like when we finally did match on Tinder, I had like moved to the other side of the island, and she ended up transferring to the Starbucks at the mall.
Right there?
That was like literally where I went to get my haircut, 3 minutes down the street from my house. So like, I guess you could say like the universe was like, nah, these two got to be together.
I like that. I also want to ask, how would you describe your dynamic?
Like in what sense?
I don't know. Just what does it feel like when you guys are together?
So I'm definitely more masculine presenting than she is, but she is 100% the man in the relationship. Like I joke around all the time and go, my man. All right. No, but like really, like she works full time. I take care of the house. I cook and clean. I make sure she has like clean laundry for work. Like I make sure she has food in her stomach. She like buys me things and like treats me like a trophy wife. So she's 100% the man of the relationship. 100%.
Very cute. And also, okay. I mean, I guess you kind of addressed this, but I guess was she always open to the idea of being poly, or that came later? I think you said she was open.
Yeah, from the jump, because like both of us were like, I think a year before she met me, she was like in a long-term relationship, and I came out of it like a marriage, like a year or two prior. So it was just one of those things where it was like from the jump, one of the first things like we kind of said to each other on Tinder, like after the typical niceties of hi and hello, was like, what are you looking for? And both of us were like, we just want to have fun.
Okay.
We just want to have fun. But then we realized we're really clicking. So
Okay.
we just came and we talked about it. We're like, we're going to stay open. And with that, I was traveling a lot too because I was in the military. So I didn't see that it was fair to have her just sitting around waiting for me.
Right.
And also, I'm a little arrogant. I'm a little cocky. Like, yeah, she can go out there and get somebody, but I'm me, man. She gonna come back home to me every single time.
I hear that. I guess what I want to know is, like, how do you introduce new partners to your dynamic?
I think it comes down more because, like, I don't want to give this advice because we are two women in a relationship. Like, the one thing we have going in our relationship is communication. Mm-hmm. We communicate.
Right.
Like, that's not even an if, and, or but. So it's not even so much of a introducing. It's like, if I see a attractive girl walking down the street, I'm coming home to tell her about it. So, like, of course, if I'm, like, hitting on girls or talking to girls or, like, linking with girls, she knows about it. So I don't really know if it's really much of an introduction. It'd be like more of like when we do our, like, we have daily debriefs together, or we talk about like our day and what goes down. Like, it'll just come up in the daily debrief. And she's definitely like one of my exes from Hawaii. Like, her and them are really good friends. Like, when I was on deployment and stuff, they clicking and hanging out. So I don't know. I think for me it's just a little easier. It doesn't have to be this big thing because I have a really chill girlfriend. Like, jealousy isn't an issue with her, so it just casually comes up.
I like that. I guess what I wanted to know, like, when I was asking, like, what is your dynamic? I guess I wanted to know, like, what is it? Like, would you describe it as, like, an open relationship, or, like, what phrasing would you use to describe your relationship?
Open, poly, like, it's whatever. I consider we're two individuals who have fun. We're two individuals who, like, at the end of the day, of course, there are boundaries within our relationship, and, like, I don't like saying rules, but there are boundaries that the two of us try and respect with each other. But, like, I say it like the door is open and the red carpet is rolled out. We just don't always have to walk through the door. So yeah, we're open, we're poly, but, like, there are going to be periods of time where neither one of us are, like, dating outside of our relationship. Doesn't mean that, like, we've closed it at that point. It just means we have other stuff to worry about.
Right. I like that. Wow. The door is open and the red carpet is rolled out, but sometimes you don't need to walk out.
You don't have to. You don't have to walk through it.
I like that.
And I think sometimes, like, people get confused when I tell people, they're like, "Oh, really? I could never do that. Oh, you must be with people all the time. I could never be with a partner who's with someone all the time." And it's like, I don't walk through the door every single time.
Yeah.
She doesn't walk through the door every single time. Sometimes, like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like just knowing that you can is enough to, like, get you to the day.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I have to do it. And if I want to do it, I can go do it. So it's like, it's not that big of a deal to me.
Okay. And how, I guess I'm curious. Like, how would you know if being polyamorous is for you versus, like, if it's not? Like, how do you know polyamory is, like, not something you should try, not, like, something you should attempt at all?
Here's my thing with it. All the things that you need to make a poly relationship work are the same things you need to make a monogamous relationship work.
Okay.
The reason why our relationship works, we trust each other. We have open communication. There isn't jealousy. We're able to, like, not let our insecurities get involved into the relationship. We communicate and talk to each other if our needs aren't met, or if we're feeling a certain type of way about something. And those are all things you need to make a relationship work. I feel like for a lot of people, why, like, they don't really like poly relationships is it's jealousy. They feel like, oh, that's my partner, that's mine. But, like, once you kind of get over it, and jealousy comes from insecurities, right?
Right.
So once you kind of get rid of those insecurities and you get rid of the jealousy, then what's stopping you?
I guess nothing else.
Because, like, for me, it's not, and if you don't view relationships as ownership, like, I don't own my girl. She's not mine. She's a person, her own individual person who chooses to share her life with me. And I'm grateful that she allows me to share her life with me.
That's so precious. That's so precious. Like, actually. Okay. Okay, so how would you know if it's... Because I know that some people, they like to try being polyamorous when like they're going through a rough patch in a relationship, do you feel like that's a good idea or not necessarily a good idea?
Absolutely not. That's a bad idea, because one of the biggest things in polyamory is respecting boundaries and having trust. And if you cheated on somebody, you've already killed boundaries and you've
Right.
already killed trust. So what's the point of going forward?
Mm-hmm.
Like, opening the relationship is not gonna, it's just gonna make it easier for you to leave each other. That's all it's gonna do. It's gonna make you two grow distant, more and more distant, to the point where I feel like opening a relationship after someone cheating is like a fail safe. Like, I'm gonna be out here looking for someone else just in case.
Right.
But also, if you happen to get it together, then cool, I'll stay. But if you don't, I have someone in my back pocket.
So it's like one foot in the door, one foot out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. I guess something else I'm curious about is, have you ever been with some... Wait. I haven't heard from any of the other people on the team. Stacy, if you would like to say something.
I have
Any
a question,
thoughts?
actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you said that this is your first polyamorous relationship?
I would say this is the first long-term one.
Okay.
Like, I would say after 2018, it was kind of a thing for me where it's like, I could casually be in a relationship with you, but if you want to be in a long-term relationship with me, like, it has to be somewhat kind of open. So this is the first long-term one I've been in.
Okay, so when you like first got with your girlfriend, and you said that you two asked like, what do you want us to be? Were you worried of like how she would react to your response when you said that you wanted it to be open, or sorry, when you said that you wanted to have fun?
So, no.
No?
It was still very early on. Like, we had been like talking on Tinder like for like 2 weeks. And the type of person I am very brutally honest, and like, if I don't know you, I know it's bad, but if like I don't know you well, your feelings aren't really a primary concern of mine. I would rather give you honesty than sugarcoat it. So it was it was relatively early when like we talked about what we wanted to each other. Like, we had matched like a week or two prior. So it was like, yeah, I just want to have fun. And she's like, cool, I just want to have fun. But when we finally when I like sat her down and was like, yo, like I like you. Like, I'm messing with you really heavy and I want to keep you around. We talked about where we were going to go for our relationship, and we both just kind of felt like keeping it open was the best thing to do. Because, like, during the pandemic, I was gone for, like, 8 months out of the year. I was not home.
Uh-oh.
So, like, I'd get antsy. I was getting antsy in those 8 months, so I know she was getting antsy. I'm not going to do her like that.
Right.
I
Okay.
hear that. What about you, Andy? Do you have any questions for TS? Any questions coming up for you?
Yeah, more on the financial side. How do you, because you've been with more than one partner, how do you balance, trying to, treat each person that you're with? Because I'm assuming it gets to the point where, you're spending a lot.
It really, it's a balancing act. So, like, I think I've said this before. So, like, the current partner that I have right now, she's introverted. She likes her alone time. She likes her space. She's not very, like, I don't want to say she's low maintenance, because she isn't, but like, she's not high maintenance in the aspect of she likes to have all like the latest gadgets or like the latest fashions or all that stuff. So like, because she doesn't like that stuff, well, I'm not spending all that money. I can turn around. I can go find a partner who's like extroverted and like high maintenance and like fancy stuff, because I can afford it. I can't have two partners who like the finer things in life, who like fancy stuff, because I can't afford that. So it's being realistic. And like, kind of going back to what you said, whether or not someone is ready for a poly relationship, you have to be self-aware.
Right.
You have to be extremely self-aware. You have to understand yourself, and you have to be able to sit back and take time and reflect, because you're going to end up, it's just going to be a storm if you're not paying attention to what's going on. If you're not keeping track of your finances, if you're not keeping track of the type of partners you're dating or partners you're attracting, or like bringing together people who don't mix. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it sounds complicated, but like that, I feel like having the level of self-awareness to pay attention to those things overall just makes you a better person in life.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I feel like I'm rambling.
You're definitely not. I feel like you're giving good insight.
You are.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to ask TS before I ask this next question?
None for now.
Okay. Andy, what about you?
No, for now, thank you.
Okay. Have you ever been with somebody who was poly and they felt insecure? And if so, what was that like?
I think I experienced it more in the early parts of the dating process. I will say dating as poly is really, really, really hard. Really hard. Because I love my girl. Like that's gonna be my future wife right there. I love her. That's my ride or die. We're gonna be together for the rest of our lives. I'm proud of her. I like showing her off. I'm not gonna lie about her. I'll never lie about her. So a lot of the times when I'm like interacting with women, whether it's through like Tinder, dating apps, or in person, I let them know, yeah, I got a shorty at home. Like, that's my number one. And one of the reasons why, like I say, number one, is not as like it's a ranking. It's I have a different responsibility to her than I would to somebody else that I'm casually dating or just started dating. We have a life together. We have bills together. We have a crib together. We're building all these things together. So I have a different level of responsibility to her than I would somebody that I recently started dating. I think sometimes with women, when I tell them that, either initially they're not good with it all and they just don't talk to me, or they do talk to me, but in their head they think that like I'm gonna leave her for them. And then when they realize that that's not it, then it kind of ends.
I hear that. Damn, dude.
It could be a little I complicate it for myself because I could really go out there and be like, yeah, I'm single.
Yeah.
I ain't got nobody at home. Yeah, we can do this. But I don't think that's right. Because I know there are people out there, I have friends and stuff who are in poly and like open relationships. And when they're out there dating, they don't tell individuals that they're in a relationship. Like you look at their social media, you look at their phone, whatever, it looks like they're single. And they do it by design because it is a lot harder sometimes. It is a lot harder.
So like it runs people off from being with you because they're like, oh, but you already have a girl.
I think it's either A, they don't believe me because people will lie and say, oh yeah, I'm in an open relationship, and really their significant other don't know what they're doing, right?
Right.
So you have to contend with that, and a lot of time, especially with women, you have to contend with that because you have a lot of dudes who say, oh yeah, I'm in an open relationship, my girl knows about us.
Yeah.
No, your girl doesn't. But then also, I think in people's head, they want to be someone's number one at all times. And like I said, it's not that I rank, it's just my level of responsibility is different.
Right.
Like, if the roles were reversed and I just met Jenna and I had somebody else that I was with for a long period of time, then they would be my number one. Like, if I'm building a life with you, then yes, my responsibility to you is going to be much more than it is to, like, somebody that I just met.
Right. That makes sense. We only have 2 minutes to break, so I'm not really sure what else to talk about in these 2 minutes. I
do.
Go right ahead.
So do you think like all of that is because like society kind of made it a norm to be like be in a monogamous relationship?
Yeah, I think society is making it a norm to feel like your partner is your possession. And like that's literally like I feel like the only thing that keeps people in monogamous relationships is jealousy and insecurity. Your partner is not your possession. You do not own them. They are not something for you to own. They are their own person who's allowing you to be in their life. And I feel like once people let it go, even then, if you're like poly isn't your thing, I kind of think once you kind of let that concept of you're my possession or like I have these insecurities or these jealousies, overall, your relationships will be better, whether it's monogamous or poly or open or whatever you decide to be in.
Right. Okay.
Right. And on that note, we got 2 songs ready for y'all for this break. We have, I was really thinking, like, what is the spirit, what songs are about having more than one partner? And I was really, really thinking, and in my brain, the only songs I could come up with were Gallus by Capella Gray. All I heard was, I want she and she and she and she. And
yeah,
I was
that's
like,
one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite songs.
To the T. And then, what else? Boyfriend Number 2 by Pleasure P, because we love a good throwback. So, Andy, you ready to play that music?
Yes, sir.
We playing that music. All right. And this is the break. We'll see y'all after this.
See y'all.
See you. All right. And we're back with more polyamorous discussion with TS.
Gang.
Yeah. Okay, so we were just talking about this a little bit during the break, but there are a lot of terms that people like to throw around in the community. I was doing my little research, and it says that basically there's a couple of different kinds of polyamorous relationships. There are open relationships, there are thruples, there are quads, there is unicorn polyamory, and there's a whole bunch more terms. So I want to know, how do you feel about How do you feel about these terms?
Let's go ahead and knock one of them off the table. I despise the term unicorn. I despise the concept of unicorn. I think it's predatory and exploitative. I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like in that situation, you are using a woman, usually a queer woman at that, as an object, a toy. Y'all don't care about her because when she's done, y'all gonna toss her to the side.
Okay.
And even if you don't, she is just there for your pleasure. Whether or not she's getting pleasure out of it, her primary purpose is you guys as a couple's pleasure. Like, I don't like unicorns. I don't like it. I don't like the concept. I think it's trash, and I think it should be thrown out.
It just feels like a threesome, kind of.
Not even so much a threesome, because like a lot of the times, like granted, there are different queer dating apps out there, right? And there are dating apps that are specifically for lesbians. There's nothing like the lesbian population is already small enough as it is, right? But then you have to combat with just a sea of women who are just presenting themselves as women. And then when you start actually looking at their profile and digging in, and they got their boyfriend or their husband on the side. It's like, at times, a lot of the time, queer women's spaces get invaded by these individuals, whether it be dating apps, whether it be parties, whether it be clubs. You're not there for the experience. You're there to get you and your husband off.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you. And how do you... Okay, so could you describe unicorn poly? I mean, your definition sounds...
So
how would you define it?
A lot of the time... For me, how I describe unicorn, because just based off of what I see it is a heterosexual couple who is looking for a woman, a female. Usually 9 times out of 10, it'll be a bisexual woman who is looking to basically, like, I don't even want to call it a threesome, because in the concept of, like, the threesome, everybody is supposed to be having pleasure. But, like, I feel like with unicorns, it is solely focused on the heterosexual couple.
Okay.
Their pleasure and what they get out of it.
Okay.
The unicorn, the third person, is just there to facilitate that.
Okay. Interesting. All right. And, okay, well, how do you feel about, like, throuple or quad or any of those other things?
I don't know if I would be in one myself. I don't know how to be able to handle that. I mean, I can definitely see the benefits of it. Like, that's 3 people to pay the bills.
Right.
That's 3 people to take care of the house. And then in the aspects of, like, raising a family, I can definitely understand, like, a throuple or a quad, because it really truly does take a village. And I mean, like, your children don't have to know what goes on in your bedroom. What's the difference? Like, what's the difference in, like, a quad and a throuple versus, like, having your, like, brother and sister live with you, or, like, an aunt and uncle live with you, or a mom and dad live with you? Your kids don't have to know what you do in the bedroom.
They're just, like, an addition, basically like an aunt or an uncle.
Yeah. So I don't know if quad or throuple would be, like, we joke about it all the time, like a joke, like, it'll be somebody extra to pay the bills. But I feel like a lot of the time, what we, like, our relationship is us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have what we have going on outside of it.
Okay. I like that. Okay. And do people mix up polyamory and polygamy all the time?
Yeah, all the time, because people can't read.
Right.
Or people are too lazy to read.
Right.
I think polyamory is more egalitarian, whereas polygamy is definitely patriarchal, like 100% patriarchal. I don't fully understand the point to polygamy. Like if maybe from, like, if I can understand it from a religious, like, understanding of why people do it, but from, like, a evolutionary, like, human nature aspect, I don't understand it, because, like, genetic diversity is very, very important for, like, a species to continue on. So if it's, like, one man fathering all the kids, where's the genetic diversity? But to each his own. I understand why some people are into it, but it's not really a thing for me.
I hear that. I guess with polygamy, even me, I got, like, stuck a little bit. I was like, what is the difference? But for the people that don't know, polygamy is having more than one husband or wife that you are married to. And polyamory is just, like, girlfriends. I guess it's not, like, the title of, like, wife or husband. Polyamory is more, like, girlfriend. I don't want to say more casual things other than that, but, like...
Don't quote me on this. Somebody was to fact check me. I was under it. So polygamy is more than one wife. Polyandry It's like polyandry. There's a specific word for it, which is more than one husband, but that is least common. And when it does appear, it usually is mostly like African, like tribal, like societies and stuff like that. And I mean, like, there are married people.
Oh, you are right. Yeah, polyandry. Wait. Yeah, polyandry is when a woman has more than one husband. That is correct.
And I mean, because you can be polyamorous and be married. I know a few people who are like married but also participate in like relationships together and relationships outside of their marriage. So like I feel like I said, polyamory is more egalitarian because it's not necessarily what the man wants. It's what both partners want, and everybody in the situation has to be consenting. Where correct me if I'm wrong, I sometimes feel like maybe in polygamy that the other wives don't necessarily always have a say in whether or not the husband brings home another wife.
I mean, Islamically, from my knowledge, like, if you are a Muslim man and you want to have more than one wife, your wife has to know. You have to let her know before you go and do that. And she has to be okay with that. You can't just go and do it and then, like, she finds out that you have a secret family and it's just like...
Okay.
Like, I would be... Like, obviously, you would be so pissed off.
I think because most of what I've like studied or seen about, I'm a big fan of like Vice, and it's been like I've watched Vice documentaries and stuff, and it's mostly focused on like conservative fundamentalism, and like polygamy and like LDS and Mormon sex and like fundamentalist Christian sex. And a lot of time they say in those situations that, oh yeah, the wives know what's going on, but if you've been brainwashing and prepping somebody from child to accept the fact that they're just going to be one of many wives, is that an individual truly consenting?
I guess not. And then also it's just like, what else?
Because consent is extremely important. I think because the amount of people, and I think this comes primarily from like this wave of like the red pill alpha male content.
Those weirdos.
If you can sleep with other people and your girlfriend can't, you're just a jerk and you're cheating on her.
Yeah, and she's not okay with that.
You're cheating on her.
Yeah.
It's toxic. And even if she says she's okay with it, she might be okay with it. It's still toxic. It's toxic. What part? I don't understand that. Because I run into this a lot with men, primarily men. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm in an open relationship. I can like do whatever I want. They're like, oh my God, that's so cool. I wish my girl would let me do that. And I'm like, and she does it too. What? Well, that's yours. You're just gonna let other people. And it's like,
there it is.
There you go. You think you own your partner.
There it is.
She is not an object. I know I've said this multiple times today. She is her own person that is allowing you to participate in her life. Don't get it twisted. You don't own her.
Right. Stacy, I saw you wanted to say something.
I was gonna ask if you can define what was it called, unicorn, but then you asked already, so
Okay.
It's fine.
No problem. Andy, any questions coming up for you?
Yeah, I have one. Has there ever been a time where you've been tested to the extreme, where like, you know, it complicated balancing your school or job life?
No. I just like, I have a great partner. That's just really what it comes down to. I love my girl is amazing. So like of course I don't want to sit there and make it seem like we have no problems. It's a human relationship. We have problems. Both of us are extremely stubborn. So like off rip we're gonna butt heads, but like we have a good system going. So like I don't know, it's never been too complicated for me. It's never gotten like too out of pocket for me. It's just like if a problem arises, we work through it.
Yeah, I feel like it's all through communication.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what makes it easier. It's two women in a relationship, but I tell you, all we do is communicate. Sometimes I'm like, man, can we stop talking? Communication ain't a problem. It ain't a problem with the two of us.
Right. So I guess to that point, I want to ask, because I was really thinking about it when I was making, when I was structuring this episode, I was just like, okay, I had all my questions, and then I got to this one. You are in a relationship, or you could be in a relationship with more than one person at a given time. You not tired, bro? What's going on there? Like, it's so much effort to make one relationship just work, and now you trying to do that with other people?
So that goes back to what I said. It's balancing. So, right? Like how I describe my girl. introverted, likes her alone time.
Right.
So for me, I'm an extrovert who just wants to be loved, bro. I want to be loved. I like attention, man. Pay attention to me. I don't want attention from everybody. I want attention from that specific someone, right? She can't always give that to me because she needs her alone time. She needs her recharge time. Now, if I'm being an idiot would go out and find another introvert who wants their alone time.
Right.
That would me be an idiot. That would stress me out because now I got 2 introverts who need to be alone and need to like recharge. But here I am, the extrovert who wants attention. My needs aren't being met.
Right.
So since I have an introvert, I need to go around and turn around and find me somebody who's an extrovert.
Right. Right.
I can't be dating women who are exactly the same.
Yeah.
If she was to magically become an extrovert, then I'd go get me an introvert. So it's just, I don't know. And then it's like every relationship is something different. Like my ex before, I don't even want to call them an ex. My ex before my current partner, like I definitely consider them like a life partner.
Okay.
Right? Like there's not too much romantic between the two of us. There's really nothing sexual between the two of us, but there is a strong emotional connection there. And we'll definitely be with each other, be in each other's life for the rest of our life. Just like with my current partner. I feel like even if we were to like break up and not have anything romantically or sexually, there would still just be that strong emotional connection, and she'd always be in my life. So if I was like looking for just like full on traditional relationship out of like every partner I had, then yeah, it would be tiring because relationships are tiring. But it's just like when I do have another partner, it's a completely different relationship. Like about a year or so ago, I was messing around with somebody and it was purely like on an emotional level. There was nothing sexual. There was a little romance there, but like we went on dates, like we talked about our feelings, we spent time together, we went and like took her shopping, we went and watched movies and stuff like that. So it's just understanding that like every relationship can be different in its own way.
Would you say that that's more friendly, or there definitely was like a romance involved?
Yeah, there's more of like a romance involved, but more like on like like an emotional or like a soul connection. It's because like
cool.
I have friends, but it's definitely what it wasn't a friendship. It wasn't a friendship.
Okay.
So like I said, I feel like the reason why I'm not tired is because I'm not looking for like traditional like romantic relationships.
Got it. Okay. Trying to think. Okay.
How do y'all feel about what I've been saying? I want to hear everybody's opinion.
Honestly, I like what I'm hearing so far. I like hearing, because like all the time, like you hear about monogamous relationships, and it's not often that I hear about polyamorous. Am I using it correctly?
That's right.
Polyamorous relationships. So I like hearing it from like your point of view of like what it's like and how you like what your experience is like, basically.
I think we definitely as a society need to really redefine what we mean as a relationship, because like I said, there are many different types of relationship. Not everything has to involve like hardcore, like traditional romance and sex. Like sometimes an emotional connection is just as fulfilling as like getting in bed with somebody. So
I think some people, they don't value that as much
because they need therapy.
Yeah, 100%.
That's really what it comes down to. Because I need y'all to understand all of this came about after therapy. After a lot of therapy. Like
it also sounds like it takes a lot of maturity, and some people just don't have that.
Like 21-year-old, 20-year-old me would be called like, because I'm 28, I'm about to turn 28 right now. If I was like go back in time to visit like my 20-year-old self, my 20-year-old self would call me a simp. And tell me, it'll be like, yo, like you're a mark. Stop being a walking L. These girls are just using you. And it's the maturity and understanding every relationship is different. Every relationship is like transactional in some sort of way. Like those are truths that we need to accept as a society and figure out how to work with them.
I hear that. Okay.
Andy, how do you feel about what I've been saying?
Yeah, I should have asked Andy. My fault, Andy.
You definitely sound like you know what you want. You've been in positions where your experiences have taught you to grow. So I can't speak from a subject that I have not that I don't have any clue, but like I'm not very knowledgeable of. But hearing you talk about it has really helped me learn about the subject. So keep doing your thing. TS, you know what you're doing.
I will say I think society makes it harder for men to be poly than it is for women in the aspect of like polyamory is all it's egalitarian. There's equality. You kind of have to accept the fact that your partner is going to go out there and do the same things that you do.
Yeah.
And I feel like just from interactions with other men that a lot of time other men will hold that under a man's head, over that man's head, like, oh, you allowing somebody else to get with your girl, you allowing somebody else to take your girl from you. So whereas a dude might end like a situation by himself and with his shorty be cool with it, the moment he get around some dudes or his boy, he's like, oh, never mind. No, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, yeah, the guys are right. The boys are right.
Gotcha.
So I do feel like men should approach, because men are missing out, bro. Men are missing out. Listen, just let your shorty do the same thing. It's fun.
They're being too controlling over their partner.
But I think it's also like,
I feel
you
like
ever heard the thing where it's like, you ever heard the thing where it's just like, oh, it's cool when you, is the song?
Oh,
like,
it's cool when you do it. It's a
problem. Yeah. I think there's a lot of that where it's like, if they do it, they know they're going to take it to the extreme. And they know, it's also like a thing, like they could never take, if a woman did something like that back to them, they would be like sick for weeks and days and months and years. And they would never, ever, ever be okay thinking that if they're out doing whatever they're doing and their girlfriend is doing it, they could never. Like, they would never.
My advice to men is stop taking advice from single men. Stop taking advice about women from single men. If you and your shorty are about to be in an open relationship and your single homeboys say that's a bad idea, ignore them. Ignore them. You have a, like, that was me whenever, especially in the Navy, when I would tell people, yeah, this is what me and my girl going on. What are you doing? Sir, where's your woman at?
Where's your successful relationship?
Where's your shorty at? You telling me how to run my relationship. Mine is working. We're happy. We're doing all the things that you want out of a relationship. I'm getting right now, but you're sitting here giving me advice. Why are you hating from outside the club when you can't even get in?
Right.
Like, so any dudes out there that listen to this, if you and your girl got your thing going on, your single homeboys are clowning you, clown them for being single and continue on with your happy life.
I think we just need to do that more. Like, if you are single, please don't give relationship advice.
Stop giving absolutes, man. You can say your opinion, but stop making it seem like it's the end all be all and the rule, the hard and fast rule.
Yeah. I don't think that works.
Not gonna lie though, I feel like it's also what we discussed last episode, where it comes from like a system of generations. The culture, the religion that you come from. That mindset that is passed down from one parent to another.
Right.
But then again, I feel like as you grow, you have the ability to choose, how you want to view things. But then again, it goes back to like what I was saying. It's all on communication. Like, how are you gonna get your message across if you're not speaking to them or they're not speaking to you?
But and even when on the communication part, it's understanding that like all communication matters, no matter what type, like no matter the form it is. So like sometimes like my partner will get so frustrated that like talking isn't the best thing for her at the moment, right? And talking might not be the best thing for me in the moment. So sometimes we'll go in separate rooms and we'll just text each other. Sometimes just a lack of face-to-face makes things easier. Communication doesn't just have to be looking at each other's face and talking. It could be sending each other a text, email, hell, write a note. Whatever you need to do that you feel like you can get your point across in the most respectful way that like respects their boundaries and respects their feelings, but is still you getting your feelings across. I just think we look at so many things like as a hard and fast rule. Communication has to be this. A relationship has to be this. No, it could be whatever you want it to be. Whatever works for you works for you.
I also think about, this is also kind of going back to Andy's point, where it's like people just think that you have to do what everybody else is doing, even if it might not be working for you. Like, you have to, I don't know, get married by a certain age. You have to have a wedding a certain way. You have to do everything a certain way, even if you don't like it. And it's just like, it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to.
Love doesn't always equate to like marriage, which is interesting because like I feel like with poly, I've like looked at relationships differently. Like I've been married before, and after that I was like absolutely, positively not. Never will I do it again. And now I'm kind of at the point where like my current partner, I don't need a piece of paper for someone to tell me that I love her and I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with her. But like there are financial benefits that come with being married, so it does make life be a little bit easier. Like it makes life a lot easier.
Like I just think like being married, it makes things, I don't know, smoother, because it's like, okay, paperwork wise, like if you're in a hospital and you're in an emergency, like they'll contact her first. If you're, I don't know, if you have like kids and you have to fill out emergency paperwork, again, they'll call them or they'll call you or they'll call.
Because currently right now,
just, yeah.
like they're calling my mama. If something happens to me, I'm in the hospital, they got to call my mom. My mom's all the way in Florida.
Yeah. So it's like.
She's my mom. I love her, but like she's not up to date on everything about my health. I spend more time around my girl and I spend around her. I mean, my girl been living up here together. We've been like I said, going on 4 years. So like she knows more about what's going on with my health. So it's easier. I don't know, like.
And like you already live together.
Yeah.
So it's not
That's
like
my baby
the
right there.
adjustment is gonna change.
Change anything
if
crazy.
you say that you're married or not married.
I mean, half of y'all think she's my wife already.
Not gonna lie, yeah.
You already
right.
living together.
Yeah, that's my baby. I love her down.
So, all right, dude. As I was looking and I was researching, this is probably going to be like the final thing that we talk about. But I was looking, and there were a bunch of different other terms
hierarchical polyamory, ethical polyamory.
Yup, all of those. So I'm going to give it to you rapid fire, and you just give me your quick impression of what you think of all these terms. So hierarchical polyamory, where there's a prioritization of partners.
Necessary.
Okay. I like that. Okay. Non-hierarchical. Whoa, I'm struggling with this word. Non-hierarchical polyamory, where every partner is considered when it comes to making big decisions and there isn't a ranking system. What are your thoughts?
Definitely would be dope, but it's idealist as hell. It's extremely idealist. It's not possible. Like I said, like, why would I treat somebody who doesn't live with me, who maybe lives outside my house, the exact same as I would with somebody who's living to me and we have bills together and we have things wrapped up together? At the end of the day, like I said, I hold more of a financial responsibility to her because of all the things that we have. So, like, if she calls me and it's something about a bill or money or keeping a roof over our head and I'm chilling my other partner, like, sucks to suck, shorty, we got to cut this short. I need to go handle that.
Yeah. I hear that.
Simple as that.
What about y'all, Andy and Stacy? What are y'all thinking about that?
Very educational.
Everybody plays favorites. Everybody. Even your parents. Your parents may say they don't. We all know our parents have a favorite kid.
That's true.
That's
true.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so the next one is kitchen table polyamory, where it's getting to know your partner's partner. They want to be friends with them and in some situations have an independent relationship with them, either platonic or sexual, that extends beyond their shared partner. So basically it's like, you know that your partner be going out and doing stuff and you want to meet those other people. Thoughts? To
each his own, I guess. Like, I kind of have that going on. It's just like we try to keep details to ourselves, and also like me and my partner, we're similar, but we're also different people. Therefore, we have different tastes in women. So like sometimes, not always, like the people that I like will bring around are the type of people she would get along with. Of course, we try to be polite and respectful, but like that buddy best friends, I don't know. Like, I mean, she is like best friends with one of my exes, so I guess that's us. That can describe us.
Okay. Maybe the last one. Okay, parallel poly. In a parallel poly arrangement, all partners are aware of the other partner's existence, but they just don't want to meet or hear about the other partners.
It sounds like you're like halfway there with polyamory, but you're not fully there, and I'd probably suggest that you go talk to a therapist because there's probably some insecurities you need to work out there. Because still, like, I'm not saying there has to be a bunch of conversation, but to have zero conversation and have zero idea about what's going on, like, from a health standpoint, that's kind of unhealthy.
Yeah.
Just like that's kind of scary from a health standpoint. So there's probably some like insecurities there that need to be worked out.
Okay. Garden party poly. You could all be friendly and social at a larger party, basically.
That sounds like a good time. Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
All the partners that your partner got, we're all like in a party together. Everybody's cool.
That's cool. If everybody's cool, because come on, think about the road trips. Think about the vacations. And if everybody got bread too, think about the crazy vacations y'all can go on.
I guess so. Okay. Throuple. You are not only dating two people, but those two other people are also dating each other.
I've never really been, I don't know, it's never been my thing. Yeah, throuple, I can teach his own. That's what I say to throuples, to each their own.
Right. Okay. This is the last one because we got to end the show. But Polyfidelity. It's a romantic or sexual relationship that involves more than two people, but these people are exclusive with each other.
Whatever makes you happy, I guess.
Okay.
Like, whatever makes you happy, that's your thing.
Okay. Solo polyamory.
Toxic.
I didn't even get to define
Damn,
it
what
yet.
is it? Yeah.
Okay. It's living an independent single life while having multiple relationships.
Oh, I thought you were bringing up the single polyamory as in like, oh, only I can do this and my partner can't. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I think, honestly, the vast majority of people who are single are practicing single polyamory. If you are single and you are dating multiple people, you are participating in polyamory.
Okay. And I guess this is the last one. Y'all haven't seen that episode of Adventure Time? This is the last chance. Okay. Single polyamory, where it's simply a person who is polyamorous but currently has no partners. What are y'all thinking about that?
I don't. At this point, we gotta stop giving. Not everything needs a label.
Yeah,
Not
polyamorous,
everything.
but they have no partners.
Yeah,
They're just single.
It's either you're, but isn't that the same as like single polyamory?
It is.
it is. Not everything needs a label. That's all I gotta say to that. Not everything needs a label.
All right. And we are over time for this week. But thank you, TS. Woo! Let's clap it up for
having
TS
me.
for answering all of our questions. Thank you to Stacy, as always, for being so lovely. Thank you to Andy for being on the board. And
Welcome.
thanks. And tune in next week. Also, email us your problems. DM us your problems at the Rampage WBCR. And that's all for this week, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Same time.